I'm reviewing here! Ooh, hola chicas! This is a Spanish-themed episode today. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here, a podcast where I, Matthew Bussey, watches and reviews Sight and Sound's top greatest Jewish movies of all time. Tiempo. Time. I love Spanish. It's a Spanish movie today. That's why I'm peeing my pants a little bit, because I love the Spanish language so much. You know, when I was in middle school, you had to pick one language. You had to pick Spanish or French. I first picked Spanish, and then a month in to school, I was like, I don't like it. I want to do French instead. And I went to this, I made my mom go to the school board or whatever, and they let me switch from Spanish to French going into 7th grade. Yeah, big deal. I was the talk of the town. I mean, everyone made fun of me. Everyone thought I was a stupid loser because they were like, why would you do that? That's dumb. I was like, because I like French more. No biggie, you don't have to spit in my face. And I remember, too, I'll never forget, it was like the last day of 6th grade. And I paused for a second because I freaking hated 6th grade, like, with all my might. But yeah, my mom and I were walking back to the car, and the French teacher was there. She no longer works there, but I remember, like, I ran up and was like, "Hi, I'm Matt. I just want you to know, I switched over to French, and I'm gonna, be taking the language now." And all she said was, "Very good, nice job." And she went to her car. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but anyway, then I still love Spanish, and I remember when I got to high school, you could do 2 languages, so I did French and Spanish. But anyway, I'm horrible at Spanish. I can't roll my R's. I can't do it. That's literally the sound I make when I try to roll my R's. How's everybody doing? Is everybody good? I am trying to do my taxes. Happy tax season. Also known as Happy Murder Me season. I hate taxes. I hate doing this. I hate doing it. 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 Especially on a Sunday. Sundays are already horrendous and crappy, and, like, I just have to do this. I have to do it, and I couldn't even finish it today because of an error that I got to figure out, and I can't figure it out right now, and I'm just in no headspace to try and figure it out right now, so got to extend it longer. It's so annoying. Taxes, like, I still, to this day, I just feel dumb. I still cannot do taxes by myself. I always have to have someone assist me with it. I mean, I still, like, have trouble with it. For the longest time, I thought a 1099 was a type of dance move. Legit. I thought, like, when you went out to clubs, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do the 1099. That'll attract some girls. Like, I thought that's what it was. 1099 form? Are you kidding? Where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in any of that? It's horrible. Guys, I also have big news to announce. I'm gonna have a baby. Yeah, it's true. No, I'm not seeing anyone. No, I didn't get a girl pregnant. And no, I'm not adopting. I'm actually going to get pregnant myself. Yeah, it's possible. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie Junior, when he has a baby. That's me. I'm gonna have a baby that way too. How does he have a baby again in that movie? Does he have it anally? Or is it an E-section? What's a C-section? I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be really cool. No, I'm just kidding. I'm screwing with you all. I'm chaining your yanking your chain. I'm being really annoying today. Because why not? It's my podcast. I can be really annoying if I want to. Yeah, things are just bizarre right now, and I'm moving out of my place right now, so my apartment right now looks incredibly, like, depressing and full, and I feel like there's something, like, hiding in one of the boxes, like an animal, like maybe a raccoon or, like, a little demon. I mean, I don't want any. I would kind of like it if it was a ghost, because I would just love to finally see a ghost to say that I've seen a ghost, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Wow, where has the time gone in this episode? And I got to get my notes up. Sorry, just a sec. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. I go because stupid Microsoft Word, like, deleted everything. Without, telling me. So earlier today I did that, and then, I can't even find the document now because of all these goddamn tax documents and forms and everything. Sweet Jesus. Today, guys, we're going to be reviewing a very special movie. This is a documentary first documentary, I think, on the podcast. I've reviewed movies that are, kind of like mockumentaries, movies that are cinema verite, which I don't want to get into. I just listened to 2 episodes ago and I talk about what that means. But yeah, this is the first documentary. It's also a pretty kind of newish movie. It came out in 2010, which is really old, I know, but it's not that old. I mean, I was born in 2002. No, I was. I swear I was. Yeah, I was born in 2002. Today, we're going to be reviewing a movie called Nostalgia for the Light.
Nuestro planeta húmedo tiene una sola mancha marrón donde no existe ningún grado de humedad. Es el inmenso desierto de Atacama. Envueltos por el polvo estelar, los científicos de todo el mundo construyeron aquí los más grandes telescopios de la Tierra. La ciencia se enamoró del cielo de Chile.
Al final eso es, digamos, o sea, encontrar el origen del ser humano, del planeta y del sistema solar. Entonces, el de dónde venimos es una pregunta muy fuerte.
Que ojalá los telescopios no miraran solo al cielo, sino que pudieran traspasar la Tierra para poderlos ubicar.
Durante 17 años, Pinochet asesinó y enterró los cuerpos de miles de prisioneros políticos.
Las mujeres que buscan a sus muertos exigen respuesta de los que hicieron desaparecer a sus muertos.
Los que tienen memoria son capaces de vivir en el frágil tiempo presente. Los que no la tienen no viven en ninguna parte.
Mierda! So I've just always wanted to say that on a podcast. Yeah, it's all in Spanish. Sorry, well, no, I'm not sorry. You know what? Learn Spanish, okay? If you didn't understand that trailer, not my problem. You probably just skipped over it too, which you can always do. But anyway, Nostalgia for the Light. Now, I'm surprised I'd never heard of this because this movie, as I said, came out in 2010. I was in college in 2010. In 2010, I was a freshman going into, well, it depends when this movie came out. Yeah, beginning of 2010, I was a freshman. September onwards, obviously, that's how it works. Sorry, this is like I'm treating you guys like you're idiots. That's not my intention. September onward, sophomore into junior year. So I don't know what month this came out, but it did premiere at the Cannes Film Festival that year. And I'm surprised because, in college, I went to the movies all the time. All the time. Mostly by myself. I used to go with my best friend a lot, but, like the indies and everything, like, not everyone always wanted to go to them. So I would always, like, I kid you not, every week, sometimes right after class, hop on that dirty train and go right into Old City, Philadelphia, and go see as many indie, cool-looking movies as I possibly could. I do want to say something. Everyone stop stigmatizing, like, going to the movies by yourself. Because for a long time, like, I feel like people were like, you go by yourself? Oh, that's stupid. It's not stupid. What's wrong with going to the movies by yourself? I did it the other day. I saw Scream 6 by myself. Could have asked people, but I didn't want to wait that long. I just wanted to go see it immediately. It's fine. It's no big deal. Oh, I wish I saved it, but I could probably find it, but I remember taking a picture right after I graduated college of it was I kept all of the movie tickets from the start of college to the end of college. I kept all of them, and there's a pic of me holding them, and it's like art. It's like a Jackson Pollock. No, not him. I'm getting my artists mixed up. It's like an Edgar Monet, like if he was holding movie tickets. No, Edgar Degas. shit. What are all these artists? I haven't been to the art museum in a while. I love art history, by the way. I friggin' love art history. It's so good. Anyway, yeah, I never saw this movie though in college. I never went and saw it. And I even like did a lot of research about it. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't have a lot of reviews. A lot of critic reviews. These critics, I didn't even recognize their names. You know, Roger Ebert didn't review it, at least to my knowledge. I couldn't find any review of him, from him, I mean. It is a very, I liked it. I liked it. Did I love it? No. But I did like it. I think, I don't think I totally understood it. Which doesn't make the movie bad. I thought the editing in the movie, I mean, it was like a tiny, teeny weeny flaw. Overall, I was very moved by it. But it's kind of, you know, I'm going to get into this. You know, there's meant to be a correlation between two big themes in this movie. This movie is kind of like two movies in one, and there's supposed to be a correlation between the two. And did I understand that correlation? Not exactly. Not totally. Kinda did. But, I don't know. You know, like, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't know if I totally got it. So, what is this movie? What's it about? So this is, like I said, it's a Spanish, like I've said for like the 50th time now, I'm sorry. It is a Spanish movie. It's a Chilean movie. Chilean, I love that word. Sometimes I wish I was Chilean just so I could say, hi, I'm Matt Bussey and I'm Chilean. It's such a cool word. It was written and directed by Patricio Guzmán. Guzmán. I'm just going to say Guzmán. Yeah, it's a documentary. It's a very poetic, visually poetic kind of film. You know, now I know visual poetry, art, artistic, experimental cinema. Sometimes, you know, that freaks people out. This isn't an artsy film. I wouldn't say that. Definitely not. I think that it's poetic in that the narration of the film is just so beautifully done. You know, Patricio narrates the whole film, and it's beautiful. I just want to quickly, before I get into what the movie's about, you know, this is one of the lines from the movie. Hold on. Just had a cough, burp a little bit. Cough, burp, boff, burp, cough. Okay. Okay, here's a quote from the movie. I am convinced that memory has a gravitational force. It is constantly attracting us. Those who have a memory are able to live in the fragile present moment. Those who have none don't live anywhere. Each night, slowly and passively, the center of the galaxy passes over Santiago. Mommy don't know Daddy's getting hot at the body shop doing something unholy. Just kidding. That's not part of the line. Yeah, but you know, that's just one line from the movie, and that's just, you know, right away, that's like, wow, this Guzman guy, he is a real poet. He knows how to write. Much better than I do. I've told you a lot about every time I've written something, like poetry or a story in film class, people either think I'm talking about sex, or, you know, when that's not what I'm trying to do at all, sometimes. So what's this movie about? Okay. It's set in Chile. It revolves around, there's a desert in Chile called the Atacama Desert. Now this desert, it's a condemned land permeated with salt where human remains are mummified and objects are frozen in time. What does that mean? So this movie it touches a little bit on politics. Hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. Zip it. Let's start from the very, very get-go. You see, I'm screwing this up already. This is a bit of a hard movie to describe. The first half of this movie, you know, I've said that this is kind of like two movies in one. Okay, the first half of this movie is about astronomy. Like, that's really what it's all about. And I got a little bored, I have to admit. Astronomy's good. I think it's really cool. It's very important. I took one astronomy class in college, and it was really cool. I think I got a B- on absolutely everything. And I remember this one kid in class who would, like, sleep and snore out loud in the front of the road during class as this poor teacher was talking. But, this whole movie, though, or not the whole movie, well, yeah, the whole movie, but mainly the first half, Guzman is just obsessed with astronomy. I mean, the movie opens up with this huge telescope, and then it's intercut with these gorgeous pictures of the moon, and then, there are these shots of dust and debris and stars and everything kind of like floating in the air. Now, dust, debris, and stars, they're all totally different. You'll get in, I'll tell you why dust and debris, comes into this a little bit. But, Guzman, he loves this. He is obsessed with it. And he's really fascinated with the past, without getting too religious, which is a good thing about this movie. Like, he's not, Guzman is not trying to pound down our throats like, okay, God is real, God exists up there, and this is a movie about God and his religion. No, it's not a movie about religion. I wouldn't say that. He's trying to understand the origin of man. Now, okay, you can take that religiously. You can take the Darwinian approach, but he's not really trying to make a big argument about that. I don't even think that the word God is used once in this movie. He is obsessed with where we came from, There was the Big Bang, but how did that happen? We came from the Big Bang, but, like, spiritually, like, our souls, where does the soul come from? He explores that a lot. And I think that's really fascinating because I do think about that a lot. I call myself a religious person. I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to get into religion because I'm too early in this podcast to have people unsubscribe. But, Guzman, yeah, the first half of this movie, it's all, I didn't really understand it because it was like all about the telescopes and the sky and astronomy. And, it's very heavy. It starts off a lot heavier than I thought it would be. And, Guzman, he interviews a bunch of astronomers and they talk about the origins of man and where they think we came from. And, there's a quote that I loved that one subject in the movie says, where he's a scientist, I think, and he says, the thing is that science is never resolved. And that's really true. That's kind of like, it is like a misconception when people think, oh, in the history books, science solved that and it solved that. Science is never, like, done. We're still solving new things, We are. So that's pretty fascinating. Now, okay. The movie, and it's a short movie. It's only like an hour and a half. That's like the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie, Guzman kind of shifts a little bit and he really, magnifies this desert that I briefly mentioned, the Atacama Desert, which is in, it's west of the Andes Mountains, and it's a huge desert. Huge desert. And you think at first, oh, it's just a desert. It looks very scary. Deserts scare the crap out of me. They're beautiful, but yeah, I don't ever want to. I would go to a desert with a lot of people, and there has to be like buildings in the desert. But no, I'm not like I can't do that. That's just a huge fear of mine. Snakes, getting sand in my shoes, getting horribly sunburnt. Ugh. So what's the thing about this desert? Why is he so obsessed with it? So, gotta get really dark for a second. There was a dictator in Chile from 1973 to 1990. His name was Augusto Jose Ramon Pinochet. Pinochet, yeah. And he was a dictator. Need I say more? He was a dictator. Yeah, there's a reason why that word is called dictator. I mean, like, for real. It's, in the desert, in the Atacama Desert, there is this little part in the desert that the director, really hones in on, and it is the ruins of Chacabuco. What was Chacabuco? It was the biggest concentration camp of Pinochet's dictatorship. Yeah. CC, concentration camp. You heard that right. And The movie does not really dive into the history. Like I said, it's not really a political movie. Did I say that already? I may have. I don't know. It's not really a political movie. It doesn't talk about Pinochet's history or anything like that. But you don't even need to know it. You just need to know, okay, he was a dictator and a lot of people got killed. It's estimated that 30,000 people were tortured under the dictatorship. And in Chacabuco, the ruins of this camp are still there, and specifically, this not shaft. What's like the place where you mine? Like, what's that called? Yeah, miners, 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 not the other, I don't know why I thought about that. Oh, I know why I thought about that, because in Galaxy Quest, there's a joke about that, miners versus miners, and it's not funny, it has nothing to do with this. Sort of does, because they're both, like, they have to do with space, but, no, they're very different. So this desert, what does this have to do with the first half of the movie where Guzman was like, I love the sky and astronomy and where we all came from? Because also, he in the beginning, in this desert, there are a lot of ruins and archaeological, findings from years and years and years and years and years ago, from pre-Columbian shepherds, literally, more specifically, that is. They are scattered throughout the desert. So we see this incredible footage of these rocks, and there were like drawings from, I'm really bad at years, 1300 BCE, BC, like those times, That's fascinating. That really is fascinating. I've been fascinated by archaeology ever since two things: Jurassic Park and the episode of Arthur, when Buster and Arthur steal a dinosaur footprint when they go to the zoo, is it? Or the dinosaur museum? I forget. Arthur, this is a footprint. Buster. Good old Buster. The desert, though. Sorry, lost track. I was thinking about a happier movie than happier program than this. Yeah, Nostalgia for the Light. Look, this is this gets really heavy like all of a sudden, and a little warning ahead. So, Pinochet, during his dictatorship, he killed people, mercilessly, and he would bury the bodies of these people, at Chacabuco in the desert. And then what he did is he would dig them up again and remove them, like throw them in the sea to basically hide the evidence, which, I mean, he's an idiot. People still know that you killed people. I don't know why you would do that, but he did that because he didn't want his enemies to come and find out what he was really doing. And something very fascinating and I mean heartbreaking happens in this movie. We see these widows, we see these women who go to this desert and they dig. They try to find the remains of their loved ones who were killed under this regime. Yeah. It's horrible. And these women, they break down in these interviews. They talk about how they do this because they just need closure. They need closure. Anyone needs closure. Anyone who knows someone who was close to them that was murdered and like the person was never found, they need closure. Why do you think, Unsolved Mysteries, like the show Unsolved Mysteries, and all these true crime podcasts, like people like them so much? It's because it feels good. It feels good not hearing about the crime. No, not that. It feels good to hear about what happens at the end when these assholes get caught and are, there is justice. It's like this huge weight is lifted off your shoulder. And that's a really, really fascinating thing in this movie. It's also a very gut-wrenching, like, smack in the face, though. I mean, there's one moment where this woman, oh my god, she basically says, yes, I found my brother, but I found bits of him. I found his foot, I found the left side of his skull. We found that there was a bit behind his ear with a bullet mark, so he'd been shot, in the face. And then she says one thing that is just so disturbing. She says, our final moment was when his foot was at my house. I just rested my forehead against my microphone. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. Like, I had the chills watching this movie. This part of the movie, I really had the chills because you also, you see these women scattered throughout this huge plateau and they're just digging. They're just looking. And this woman too, I mean, she says this, like, when she found her brother's foot, she was heartbroken, of course, but again, she felt good. She felt like at least I got to have that last little moment with him, even if he was already dead. It's like I know now. Okay, he was killed. He was killed. And I know that now. It's yeah. It's a very I think that this movie has a power to it in that sense. Now, why didn't I love it? Well, here's the thing. I keep using the word correlation. I couldn't really make out the correlation between these two big parts in the movie. Astronomy, the stars, where we came from, the universe, the endless universe, and these people, trying to find closure and trying to find the remains of their loved ones because this, moron killed a bunch of them in this desert. And Guzman, he does touch on also how there were actual people in this camp that were into astronomy as well. And they, would look into the skies, too, while they were imprisoned. I mean, what does that say? I thought about that a lot. I think, here's my 2 cents on it. And I don't even know if this is a quote from... Oh, no, it's not a quote from the movie because I use ... If I use ... it means it's my own opinion. I wrote, astronomy ... makes people feel like nothing really comes to an end, because it's endless. Not astronomy, but, the sky, the stars, the universe, it's endless. Even when things die, supernova, zoom, 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 and my heart go boom. Sorry, I had to do that. What was I saying? Yes, supernova, even when stars explode, it's like there are other stars that come in. Wait, when a star explodes, is it like reborn? I didn't do my research on that. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked by the Xenon song. I got to listen to that after this now. Damn it. Oh, I got so sidetracked. Damn it. No, but nothing really feels like it comes to an end, which I think is a satisfying thing. I think that's what Guzman, at least that's my interpretation of what he's trying to do with making a movie like this, because it does seem like they're two very different movies. I think that these women, it's not just about the closure, it's about kind of like the comfort, it's this comfort in knowing that their loved ones, are gone, but maybe they're not exactly. I'm not talking about ghosts, I'm talking more spiritually. I'm talking about, their souls. I just said souls really weird. The souls maybe they're out in the universe somewhere, in the celestial world, and we just can't see it. That's a really, I love learning about that stuff. Because I wholeheartedly believe in that, Not to sound hokey, but I'm the type of person that feels like in any place that you visit, if there's been a tragedy, you feel the pain there, You feel it. When I went to Anne Frank's house in 2019, I felt the pain. Walking up to that one room and you see actual writing on the wall that she and her siblings had made. I mean, it's bone chilling. It's like, oh my God, oh, this is horrible, because you know what happened to her. You feel it, and I think the important thing is that it's why people turn to religion. But again, this isn't a movie about religion. I think in this case, we turn, Guzman at least, and all the subjects in this movie, they turn to the universe. The universe all in itself, just the universe, all of it. The endless, infinitesimal, did I use that word? I don't think I've ever used that out loud. The universe, it's endless. And I think people, when they've experienced tragedy or they've lost someone, they like to go to the skies to go, they're out there somewhere. They are. We just can't see it. We can feel them around us, but we can't see them. I think that's kind of the hopeful thing about nostalgia for the light. It really, sorry, I had an itch in my ear. It's a very spiritual movie. It talks a lot about what happens when we die, what happened before we got here, science versus religion, heartbreak, pain, all these things. It's a fascinating movie. It really is. I said a little thing about the editing. I thought the editing was a teeny bit wonky and flawed. I think there are a few bits near the end of the movie where Guzman could have cut down on the fake looking twinkly stars that, appear on screen, like around the subjects that are being interviewed. It was a little overdone, but not horribly. Didn't ruin the movie at all. I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie. For a movie that I had never heard of, for a director I'd never heard of, I was very, very moved by this. I mean, look at me. Don't think I've made a joke in like a solid minute. It really, this movie, I think the subject matter is, I didn't even say too, you see real clips of actual bodies that were found in Chacabuco. Actual bodies, like literally mummified bodies of people. I mean, it's like, if you go to Mount Vesuvius and like you see the bodies, in the ash, this is much more graphic and much more, it makes you much angrier too, at least too, because I mean, the Mount Vesuvius, that was just a natural disaster. Well, there's probably more to it that I don't know about. I've never been in Italy. I don't know. Did the people in Mount Vesuvius, did the town, did they know that the volcano was coming or not? Did the governor or whatever, was he like, oh, it's coming, but chill, just get back to your jobs. I got to go have, some grapes, was that what happened? I don't know. I got to read more about that. But I think, Guzman has really, he's disturbed but amazed me in this movie. He showed me, how he's reminded me how in the universe, not in the universe, on this planet, we decay. We, the human physical body, we decay. But what happens to our souls? What happens to our celestial beings? Where do they go? Do we fly to the sky? Or are we just gone forever? I remember one time I was at a wedding and I said that to a friend of mine. I was like, what happens when we die? And he got very mad. He just went, nothing. Nothing happens. We're gone. It's dead. Boom. I was like, oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. This movie, there are topics in this movie that, if I made this movie sound like it's too heavy and too much, it requires you to think too much. It does. And again, like I said, the first half of the movie, I was very confused. I didn't really know what Guzman was trying to say. And I still don't totally know if I grasp it, but it's gorgeously filmed. It's, this is a topic, this dictator, I'm not even going to say his name, he doesn't even deserve a name. I mean, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about this camp in the desert. I didn't know that, widows were doing this, women and were going to do this. It's something that is very universal, what these women are doing. It's something that's very relatable. I just wanted to hug every woman in this movie that's doing this. It's just horrible. Losing someone you love is horrible, but losing someone who was murdered because some dick with a tiny penis just was like, I hate everyone, you're going to pay for what I'm doing, or you're going to die. I'm just sick to death of dictators. Just enough already, for God's sake. Anyway, I think that's kind of it, you guys. I would recommend this movie a lot. I would. Yes, it's heavy. It's very sad, but like I said, it's also very hopeful. I think it's a very it's not a religious movie either. I know I've said that a million times already, but it's not. If you hate religion, this movie isn't telling you God exists, believe in God. No, it doesn't say that at all. I think even atheistic people, unless they're just incredibly cynical and pessimistic, they also have these thoughts. What happens when we die? I'm not talking about heaven or hell or anything like that. No, just what happens when we die. What happens? Because you talk to a lot of people who either are religious or aren't, and when they go to, they always say, I feel, my mother or my brother or whatever, I feel them around me, Not Casper the Friendly Ghost, like a ghost. No, I just feel them around me, like that's what they say. Well, and I've even like, I see that, like I try to look further into what they mean by, what do you mean that you feel them? And it's like, I don't know, I just feel it's hard to explain. I just feel them. I feel their energy around me. I feel like their good mood or their happy mood, Yeah. Oh, now I want to go watch like a haunted house movie. No. This is not a scary movie. This is not a movie about ghosts, guys. Nostalgia for the Light came out in 2010. Really solid documentary. I would highly recommend it. This movie is available on Canopy. Canopy with a K is this really cool streaming site if you have a library card. I used my mom's. I actually do go to the library here in Philly, but it didn't work. So I used my mother's library card. But Canopy, they have a lot of really obscure movies on there. The next movie I'm reviewing, I also watched on Canopy. Definitely check it out. Also, go to your library. Go support your libraries. Do not read books on those little digital things. Audibles? No. What are they called? E-read? E-read. E-read should be forbidden. If you read a book on your iPad or whatever, you should be in jail. Harsh? I don't think I'm being harsh enough. No, I'm just kidding. No, guys, please don't do that. Go, come on. Go read a book the traditional way. You can do it, all right? Yeah, but Canopy, you can watch this movie. Yeah, this was a heavy one. I hope that the next movie is a little brighter. I don't know if we've had, like, a bright movie yet. I guess we kind of did with A Canterbury Tale. I didn't really like that one, though. I don't know. People love heavy movies. Directors love it, and people love it. I hope you're all enjoying this podcast. It's been so much fun, and it is... I'm making it sound like it's ending. It's going to continue to be fun, and you should still listen. Rate, listen, subscribe, leave a comment, tell everyone you know about it. I'm Reviewing Here is available wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe, please rate, do whatever you want. Tell everyone about it. If you work for a newspaper, please put it front page. No, you don't have to do that. That costs a lot of money. And, with my taxes, I'm going to be broke by the next episode. So anyway, that's all, everybody. Have a good life. And, yeah, don't be a dictator, please. Okay? Okay, cool. Bye.